Let's take all this to White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. Good morning, Mr. Sullivan. Really startling predictions this morning. ABC and others being told that Putin now has 70% of his troops in place to possibly launch a full-scale attack on Ukraine. The Ukrainians may not believe that, but how likely is that?
We believe that there is a very distinct possibility that Vladimir Putin will order an attack on Ukraine. It could take a number of different forms. It could happen as soon as tomorrow, or it could take some weeks yet. He has put himself in a position with military deployments to be able to act aggressively against Ukraine at any time now, and we are working hard to rally our allies, to provide material support to the Ukrainians, to reinforce our eastern allies, in particular Poland and Romania and the Baltic states, and at the same time to send a clear message to Russia that we are prepared to walk the diplomatic path to address our mutual security concerns if they're prepared to do so. Either way, Martha, we are ready. If they choose to go down the path of escalation instead, it will come at enormous human cost to Ukrainians, but it will also, we believe, over time, come at real strategic cost to Vladimir Putin.
The White House has backed off from saying an invasion could be imminent, but several members of Congress briefed on the situation say it is a near certainty. You said you believe it could happen. Do you think it is a near certainty?
I'm not going to make a prediction about what is going to unfold in the coming days. All I'm going to say is that we, the United States, under the direction of President Biden, are ready either way. We are ready if President Putin chooses to continue to engage in diplomacy, and we are serious about that, and we are ready to respond in a united, swift, and severe way with our allies and partners should he choose to move forward with a military escalation.
You talk about this diplomatic path, but 1,700 U.S. troops just arrived in Poland, part of the 3,000 going in, 300 more sent to Germany. The 18th Airborne Corps said these are combat-capable forces who stand ready to enhance NATO's ability to deter and defeat Russian aggression. They're a long way from Russia's border. That sounds like you're no longer trying to de-escalate the situation.
We have, since the beginning, for months now, as we have warned about the possibility of a Russian invasion of Ukraine, pursued a two-track approach: deterrence and diplomacy. And there's nothing inconsistent about the two of them. In fact, we believe that deterrence reinforces diplomacy. Those forces you just referred to have not been sent to fight Russian forces in Ukraine. They have been sent to defend NATO territory because we have a sacred obligation under Article 5 to defend our NATO allies and to send a clear message to Russia that if it tries to take any military action or aggression against our NATO allies, it will be met with a stiff response, including by the U.S. forces who are on the ground there now. But we have been equally clear, as you've seen from the paper that we sent to the Russians that's now been published publicly, that we are ready to have substantive discussions on matters of European security in the mutual interests of us, our NATO allies, and Russia. And we're ready to do that at the table with the Russians if that's the choice they make. If they make an alternative choice, as I said before, we're ready for that too.
I want to nail you down, if I can, a little bit on the timing of this. The Olympics end February 20th. The ground will be frozen, and that facilitates tank movement. So is that the most likely time frame, mid-February or after the Olympics?
We have to be prepared for the possibility of a contingency of a military action by Russia before the Olympics end, and we also have to be prepared for one after the Olympics end. So at this point, we're in the window, meaning that we can't just assume it's going to be a couple weeks off. Is that a possible scenario, or are there reasons to believe that it could happen in that time frame? Yes, but there are also reasons to believe that Russia, under the direction of President Putin, could take steps before then. So that is why we have worked so intensively to put ourselves in a position to create a united front with our allies, to flow material support to the Ukrainians, and to ensure that we have prepared the package of strong and severe economic measures that would be imposed in the event of a Russian action.
We saw Vladimir Putin at the Olympics this week standing next to President Xi. That is an economic powerhouse, China. Could that undermine your plans for severe sanctions?
Our view is that China is not in a position to compensate Russia for the economic losses that would come from our sanctions. That's the analysis that we and the Europeans share, and we believe the Russians and Chinese understand that as well. We also believe that when it comes down to it, ultimately, if Russia does choose to move forward, not only will it come at strategic cost to Russia, but if China is seen as having supported it, it will come at some cost to China as well in the eyes of the world, in the eyes of Europe, and in the eyes of other countries who are looking on now and sending a clear message that they would prefer to see diplomacy over war here.
And quickly, if you can, if he invades, we throw those severe sanctions at him. How does he respond? What's next? How does this end?
Well, we do have to prepare for Russia choosing to respond in a number of asymmetric ways against the United States and against our European allies. One of those potential ways, of course, is to try to use gas as a weapon against our European partners. And what President Biden has done is directed his team to find liquefied natural gas cargoes from other parts of the world that could be redirected to Europe to help make up for shortfalls that might accrue if Russia chooses to level gas as a political weapon. So we are preparing not just for our initial response, but for counter responses. And as I've said all along, the fact that we have been focused on this for the past few months, getting ready for diplomatic negotiations, but also getting ready to respond to military action, has put us in a position today where we are prepared for these contingencies, and we believe that we will emerge from any scenario here stronger and more united with our allies and partners.
Thanks so much for joining us this morning. Some rather grim news.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.